A few months ago, my sister asked me for advice. She was unsure whether she was studying the right thing, and so I told her exactly what to do. She considered switching to psychology, so I told her, email the psychology department of the university and ask them for timetables. Next, once you get those timetables, look where you have a gap in your timetable and just attend the psychology lectures, and then you'll see whether you like it or not. As it turns out, she actually never wrote that email, and while that may sound like a failure, it's actually a massive victory because it made her realize that she was indeed studying the right thing. She has never complained about studying the wrong thing ever again. Writing, or rather in this case, not writing that email, revealed very much certainty. It added very much certainty in her life. I actually did the same thing a few months ago. As you might know, I only study in university because my parents decided to, because in late 2023 my business failed. My first business that I had been working on for 3 years failed, and my parents told me, if you don't come up with something else, with a new business, you're gonna have to go to university because you're not gonna waste a year. And I agreed. If I did not start a second business, there was no point in doing a gap year. I would make much more progress in university. So I went to university. My parents picked medical engineering, and because my parents picked it, I automatically didn't like it. And so I did the exact same thing after telling my sister to do that thing. I emailed a bunch of other degrees. I got the timetables, but I never went to any other lectures because it also made me realize that actually I'm kind of happy with my life right now. I know it may sound weird, but it made me realize that actually the degrees aren't too different from one another, and thus there is no point in switching, really, because it's all the same anyway. And so you may think that you can decide whether you're studying the wrong or right thing by thinking about it. That means by running a cost return analysis like the fancy people would. But this doesn't work because you don't have the variables that would be required to do so. You may also think that talking to older students will help you determine whether you're studying the right or wrong thing, but not really, because what the older students will tell you is also highly contextual, and thus it will not really be reflective in how you feel and what you think. Okay, picture this. Finding out whether math gets harder or easier in the higher semesters won't make you decide whether you should study psychology or physics. You know what I mean? So that's why you don't ask all the students and you don't try anything fancy yourself. You just switch degrees. For a week you attend these lectures, and if you don't attend these lectures and if you don't even write that email, you can be pretty much certain that you are studying the right thing. The thing is, if you are uncertain whether you're studying the right or wrong thing, it's dependent on too many variables. For instance, you could not like the degree because the weather is bad and you associated that, because you don't like the city, because you don't like the classmates, because you don't like the professors, because you don't like the food in the cafeteria, because you don't like university as a whole, because you suck at studying. There's just the list of things that you could suck at is just endless. But by writing that email, by considering that switch, by potentially visiting a few lectures, you will get to see which variables do not depend on the degree, but instead depend on you. After having written that email, I found out that my problem wasn't the degree, it's just that I started to live like a loser after university had started. I started to watch YouTube for around 5 hours a day. Before that, before university, it was exactly 0. Before university, I lived perfectly disciplined. After university had started, I kind of fell off on my self-improvement, and thus I began to associate bad mental health with university, even though it's not really the case. But by writing that email, I actually found that out, otherwise I would have never learned it. My name is Kirill, I'm 18 years old, and my goal is to inspire 10,000 good decisions. I am very certain this video helped you to inspire a good decision. And if you want more videos, if you want my message to spread, subscribe. If you don't want my message to spread, then leave a hate comment, unsubscribe, and never watch my videos again. I hope that this is a fair deal. If you think so, then subscribe or leave that hate comment. And we'll see you in the next one.